All right, y'all. We back to talk about the Braxtons, honey. I'm not gonna waste y'all time. I'm gonna go and hop on into this episode and then a little bit more. All right, because we got some things to talk about. First things first. Towanda has this Bridgerton style bridal shower. And although I thought the theme was kind of cute, I also feel like the party was a bit tacky. It was just something about it that was a bit tacky. I didn't really like that it was in somebody's backyard. I think it could have been better if there were like decorations and stuff versus everybody just coming in with some damn costumes on. To me, I also think that she could have just rented out one of these small spaces that they have for like $1,200, and then they'd be like they'll decorate it for you and all of that or whatever, right? So I think she could have invested into a small business, like somebody's small business that has a black person small business that has a event space, and challenge them to create the Bridgerton bridal theme that she would want. And honestly, because she's a Braxton, they probably would have did it at a cheaper rate. Like, okay, I got you, long as you promote it for me. You know what I'm saying? Because some people be doing that. Okay. Nowadays, I think y'all need to cut back on them promotions because honey, promotions is not necessarily paying the bills unless they actually giving you a return because they got customers lighting you up. But anyway, girl, that's none of my business. Let's get back. So, like I said, it was cute, but it was tacky all at the same time. Do I care about Trina pissing? I don't give a damn about what Trina had going on up under that dress. Okay. Whatever she had going on, congratulations. Tawanda, your hair look better in that purple wig than it do bald. It do. And it's not even me trying to be shady at all. I'm just being really honest. I miss the Tawanda with hair, but it is what it is. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about her being bald, you know what I'm saying? And choosing to go that right route because I believe that she said that she had alopecia or something like that. Completely understand. Because a lot of women will just, shave all of their hair and just rock the natural. And it really does a lot for their confidence, right? Completely understood. Okay, I get it. But if you want to throw a wig on like Sean, I ain't mad at it. Do your thing, mamas. Okay. Would have loved to have seen you in a cute fado like that for the wedding. But anywho, so Tony has a Florida performance, right? Tawanda and Trina do come because she didn't make it to the other bridal festivities, so she's bringing Tawanda and Trina down there so they can have some sister time, and she can like show her love or pay back Tawanda for being absent, right? Now Tawanda did not go to the actual performance. I think she stayed back at the hotel because she wasn't feeling good. But Trina, she went. And when she got there, Tony was just telling her how stressed she was. She was like, "Girl, I'm just tired, bitch. I'm stressed out. Like we had to come up with this show in under like what she said, like 24 hours." And the reason for that is because God rest her soul. Angie Stone was in an accident, and of course, Tony Braxton and Angie Stone shared some of the same musicians. With their shows, and unfortunately, I don't think all of her people were able to make it, so she had to reconstruct everything. She had no background dancers. It was a lot. So, with Tony being stressed out about that, Trina said something that kind of irritated me. Trina says, Tony Braxton, living legend. Like, you're a living legend. And I'm just like, can you shut the fuck up with that? I said, I just like, I'm like, I know Tony get tired of hearing y'all say that. Every time she's going through something, it's like, Tony Braxton, living legend. And it's like, BIT, that's not helping me right now. Like, did you not hear that I'm stressed out? I'm not trying to hear no damn living legend. Girl, I know I am. This is information that I know. I am that girl. Aside from that, I am that tired girl. I am that stressed the hell out girl. Okay? Does that have to be your follow up with everything? Living legend, living legend, living legend. And it's like saying that as though she's superwoman and like she can do anything, she can overcome anything, or I don't know. It's something about it where I feel like constantly calling her the living legend in my personal, it's like it takes away from the fact that she human too. Like, bitch, she tired. But aside from that, I did appreciate Trina coming out to support her on that stage because I feel like that is something that Tony wanted more than hearing a damn living legend. Okay. So I'm like, I'm glad she has somebody to come out there, support her, be by her side. But Trina did tell her, like, if you need me to come out there and do a 1-2 scene, boop, bop, boop, bop, boop, 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 I'll do it. But she knew Tony wasn't just going to have one person come out there dancing as a background dancer, or vocalist or something like that. So either way, it ended up being, a nice event for Tony. Now they get on the yacht. The sisters are on the yacht. They thought they were going to be able to go sailing, but unfortunately, because of the weather, they weren't able to do that. So it was like better safe than sorry. We just go kick it in here and chill. All right. So it was kind of cute. It was cute for what it was. They were enjoying it all in all. Tony was a little disappointed because this was her gift to Towanda, so she wanted it to be like really something. And unfortunately, it was a little bit of something, but not all of what Tony wanted. So somebody suggested that they go out to dinner, which was great. And that is something that the ladies ended up doing. So once they do go out to dinner, right? Tony asked Towanda, like, hey, is Tamar coming to the wedding? Right? And Towanda, like, hell no. Girl, I don't even know why you asked me some shit like that, girl. You already know how I'm going. Okay, no, she not coming. Okay, so Tony said, well, what do we think about her behavior? And then Trina and Towanda was like, unacceptable. Unacceptable. And Tony says, well, I'll tell you this. Because it seems to me, sitting at the table, Tony doesn't have much critique for Tamar at all. She don't have much critique for Tamar at all as Trina and Towanda does, and more so Towanda than Trina. And Tony says, well, listen, girl, I was really more so disappointed in my damn self. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. I hated that I even got myself to that place. Yeah, Tony, because you stood up over Tamar, and I think that may be the key thing that's stuck in your head. Honestly, like, damn, I can't believe I stood up on my sister on television. They wasn't supposed to see that part. That shit I do behind closed doors. They weren't supposed to see me turn up on her ass like that. Girl, I'm not with Birdman for no reason. You know I can match energy, but because they say I'm Tony Braxton, living legend, girl, I gotta be demure and poised all the time. Good night. So Wanda says, listen, I'm tired. She said, okay, I'm tired of this same behavior. I'm not gonna keep having this shit around me. I don't know what to tell y'all, but as far as my life, that's something that I'm not willing to. You say what? Of course, I'll take another 35,000, but you got me fucked up. I always take the coin, bitch. Understand, girl? Now that's the type of behavior that I can condone. Okay, I will get my 35 rats, but what I'm not finna do, okay, is sit up here and let you throw some little water on me, girl, and cuss me the hell out and call me out and call me a thief and this and that, expose my tea, girl. We don't do that, but I will take your money. So how much you give it today? Oh, okay then. So that's the type of energy Tawanda is on, and Tony just want to move forward. Okay, Tony like, girl, I'm just trying to move on. I ain't got time for this shit. All right, we do this shit all the time, girl. We been like this since we was children, child. Like, this is who y'all are. I've gotten to a place y'all get on my damn nerves, even though if we weren't related, y'all wouldn't be my friends for real. But listen, girl, I accept you hoes for who you is at this point, okay? And y'all not finna flare my lupus up or anything with all this stress you just got going on. So I'm really just ready to move on, to be honest with you. I accept y'all for who y'all are. We gonna be loving on each other tonight and probably cussing each other out in a month. Like, that's just how us Braxtons do. You know what I'm saying? And I've just accepted it for what it is. So are y'all sure y'all don't want Tamar around? I'm just trying to find out what's really going on, because I mean, at this point, it's not much changing that we finna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are getting older. It is given that we stuck in our ways. So I'm just like, just roll with the punches. Like, what we doing here? Okay. So this is the energy that Tony is on. And Tawanda says, well, I just feel like that bitch blamed us for this C&D. Okay. And we ain't have shit to do with it. So I just don't like that she came up in there like, you did it, or you did it, or you did it. I ain't appreciate that. And then Trina says, and she pushed me. She pushed me. I don't like that shit. She sat up there and pushed me. I didn't put my hands on that girl. So I don't know why the fuck she sat up there and pushed me. Okay. I feel like Tamar about gave Trina that damn push because she was thinking about Ashley. But then also, like I told y'all, right? And I'm not saying Tamar was right for putting her hands on her sister, because not only did she push her, kick her, pulled her hair, whatever the case was, because I thought she just kicked her and pulled her hair. So I don't know. Maybe she did push her. But I feel like that shit happens to security. When you get in between people, you have to, I'm not going to say you have to accept what they do, but you have to know when you're going in between people that are heated in a heightened situation, they are likely going to put that energy onto you because they can't get to the person they're trying to get to. Even Tony Braxton, Tony was the one that definitely pushed your ass, okay? Tony wanted you to get them hands up off her. Understand? Tamar also kicked and pulled that hair. That's two things we know for sure. Because we did see that body kind of go forward when she kicked you, girl, and their head yanked back. So we saw that. It happened on both sides. But I think everybody's energy was heightened. And I feel like with the audience, a lot of us, or a lot of y'all, are not fans of Tamar. You always think that she's problematic, and that's fine. But make sure that you call out Tony for also pushing Trina, like, get the fuck off me. Just like y'all did with Tamar for kicking and pulling on Trina's head. Okay? Because they the same thing to me. All right. So if you're gonna be mad at one, Trina, be mad at the other, especially the person that you trying to calm down the most, because you really wouldn't even stunt Tamar as you really was just trying to calm down Tony the most, and Tony was like, "Bitch, get the fuck out of me! Don't put your hands on me! Don't put your hands on me!" Okay, so it's crazy, but anyway, so Tony, she wants them to talk with Tamar. And Trina kind of seemed like she's open to it because she like, girl, what that look like? And somebody said, nope, I told you already, and I'm not gonna keep on saying it. Like, girl, I'm not gonna accept that type of energy. Okay, the things that I do accept is Visa, Mastercard, and dollars. Okay, American Expresses. I accept those type of things. Okay, that's what I accept. But as far as you talking to me any kind of way, splashing a little water, no. Oh, you can only splash dollars over here. I just want to make sure that y'all understand. Okay. Because really money talks in Tawanda's land. All right. Now, when we get over here to Tamar, who's sitting down with one of her team members, so she pretty much is blaming her sisters for her taking the bottle down. And I'm like, okay, I understand your sister stressed you out, but girl, that's a personal decision that you choose to make. Okay. You don't be putting that on your sisters. I feel like a part of it may have been, but girl, that's really all you. All right. Now her team member wants her to pretty much work out things with her sisters, but Tamar is like, for what? Like, she seems to be to me in the same space that Towanda is in. Like, she over it. Right. So she tells him, well, at least he tells her, like, listen, you may have to either try to heal things with your sister or just move on. And she like, I did that years ago. All right. Whenever I fall back, it's giving Tyrese. What you say? Every time I try to leave, something keep pulling me back, telling me I need you in my life. And it's that damn mama. It's that damn mama Evelyn. Okay. Tamar says that she fell back many a years ago, right? But she always feels pressured to come back because people want to put it in her ear. But y'all sisters, and y'all supposed to love each other and look out for your sisters and take care of your sisters. And we are family. I got all my sisters with me. Like, this is what the family do to her and others as well, which is why she feel like she gotta, show up and help out all the damn time. All right. But when she also says, I did that years ago and I keep getting pressure to come back. I feel like not only was she talking about within the dynamics of the sisterhood, I think she was talking about this damn show too. I think she was talking about this show. I think they be wanting her to be involved in this show. And if I was Tamar, like, I understand why Tamar took the stand she did last season. I'll come back to this show, but not in the capacity in which I want. Right? And because I personally feel she's always the problem. I'll help, I'll finance the show, I'll be the executive producer, I'll do this, that, and the other, and all of that, and help y'all get a check so y'all can get out my pockets or whatever the case is. But yeah, if I'm not around that much, y'all can't really blame shit on me. And that's one thing. If I was Tamar, this is why I would have to fall back for my sisters, because I always feel like, and I always use A, B, C, and D. I mean, well, A, B, and C, right? When you have three individuals, in this case, it's multiple, but I'm going to use three, and you're B in the situation, and A and C is always making you the problem, when you remove yourself from the situation, you see who the problems really is, right? Last season, Trina and Towanda got drug for how they were showing up with Tracy's son and then accusations or whatever when it came to the daddy. It wasn't making no damn sense. So if I was Tamar, now that I've allowed myself to come back into the fold, and now I have an angle that I could potentially use, since we want to talk about family values, then let's bring my niece on to talk about some things which Tony Braxton actually recommended that she come onto the show to discuss, right? Let's use the niece, because as we exploited the nephew last season, let's exploit the niece this season. Bring her on to talk about some family stuff, and then Trina will have to answer to X, Y, and Z, whatever the case is, right? So it won't have to always be about me or be on me. And guess what? It still ended up being on you, in a sense, because I do feel like the audience is split. I feel like half of the audience is Team Tamar, half of the audience is, everybody else. Now, as for me, I feel like I'm more so in the middle when it comes to these ladies. I don't think that there's a single Braxton that is 100% without fault, right? Everybody is a problem in their own way. But I feel like sometimes when you may say things that are in favor of Tamar Braxton, then fans feel like, oh, you just team Tamar, you Tamar is foul, and it's like, okay, that's your personal girl. That's not my personal, and you're entitled to yours. Okay, feel how you feel. But there isn't a single person amongst this group that is 100% in my personal life. Everybody got some damn issues and stuff. Everybody's the problem, really. But going back to A, B, and C, like, I'll probably remove myself again. Like, after this season, I probably will remove myself again or only film with other people. But if I do that, is it gonna make the show that interesting? Because who else y'all gonna bring on the show to have an issue with? Right? It's probably it's not gonna be that good. Like, watching this particular episode, it was alright. It was alright. Like, it was cool. But I don't know many people that would want to watch the show and seeing one sister over here filming with her people, and then you got the others as a whole filming over here. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and stuff down below about that. But it's either way, it is what it is, right? So, all in all, Tamar, when she's sitting with this friend or this team member of hers, she pretty much talks about how she always pretty much like leaves, like she'll lead them where they at or whatever, but then she finds herself constantly guilt tripped into showing up for them. And that's where I feel like I blame the mama. I blame that mama in my personal, okay? Because it just makes me think of when I was hearing Tamar talk about this situation and how, oh, I lead them alone. Then I'm always constantly reminded, those are your sisters, this, that, and the other. All I kind of hear is the same conversation that Tony has talked about when she got her record deal or whatever, and then having to show up and be there for her sisters and help her sisters or whatever the case is. And now that Tamar has reached a level of success, maybe not as high as Tony, but close. And I'll just say the second successful person in the family. I feel like she now is too compelled to show up for her siblings so that everything won't be on Tony. Or if Tony just can't do it, right? Then they probably gonna go to Tamar and expect Tamar to show up in the same fashion in which Tony does. And I also feel like sometimes Tamar may not mind doing this because in my head, to me, I do believe that in Tamar's head, she assumes and thinks that it's gonna make them value her more. And it's not. You're still gonna get on their damn nerves. They still not gonna like you like that for real, right? And they're still gonna take whatever it is you do for them. You know why? Because as Tony and Towanda said, and as your mama has ingrained in y'all, family's supposed to help you anyway. That's what family is for. That's what we do. So even if I don't rock with you and I feel like you this and that and you'll ruin everything and I don't want you around me, you still better show up for me and pay for this and pay for that and take care of this and take care of that because that's how mommy raised us. And that's what mommy told you got to do. Bitch, you out your fuck ass mind. I'm finna be this old and you think that I'm finna keep looking out for you. I don't gotta do nothing. Understand? All right. And I just personally feel like at this point, if it truly was a loan that Tamar gave to Towanda ass would be having some papers right now. Towanda ass, if it's still within the statute of limitations, Towanda will be having papers right now. Run me my money. Okay? But I feel like she's not going to do that probably because of her mama. Ain't no telling. I don't know. I don't know the real reason why. But if it was a loan, and according to documents that I have seen, and shout out to y'all that may have sent me some stuff, listen, it was definitely written on that bankruptcy as it was a loan from Tamar. Okay? So if that is the case and you ain't run me my money, and it's possible to get my money back, bitch, you gonna run that. I don't give a damn what you done married or who you done married. And now we can do this the hard way or the easy way. The easy way is you go ahead and set up this payment plan with this contract. The hard way is that I'm gonna have to take your ass to court and they're gonna force you to give me my motherfucking money back. Okay? But it is what it is. Y'all leave y'all thoughts, okay? But all in all, the entire dynamic is toxic, okay? I feel like yes, sometimes Tamar doesn't know how to talk to her sisters all the time, but a lot of times I feel like Tamar is reacting. And honestly, this sit down also made me think of something. It made me think about Tracy and watching previous, clips and stuff, episodes of Tracy and how she would respond and react to her sisters and go off on them. Like, not only does people like Tamar don't know how to talk, and sometimes that may be the case, right? But that's not no different than what Tracy has said about her own damn sisters. Like they don't know how to talk to each other. So it's not just a Tamar issue, it's all of their asses. And a lot of Tamar complaints, in my opinion, lines up with what the hell Tracy said. But I'm constantly seeing online, Tracy was the realest one. Tracy was real. Tracy was this. Tracy was that. But then when Tamar do it, it's the problem. I'm so confused. Why? I think that y'all also mixed up her social media antics with her dynamic with her family. And to me, I feel like it's okay to kind of separate the two. Like, okay, that's social media. She did stupid stuff over there with Candy and all of that white man, whatever. Okay, cool. Now let's just look at this family dynamic though over here. Okay, because it's not really the situations may be different as far as why Tracy felt the way she felt about her sisters and why Tamar felt the way. And they all of them have different situations amongst the sisters. But at the same time, the reaction is damn near about what Tracy had with their ass too. Even though Tamar also got on Tracy's nerves. But there were times that Tamar could really relate to Tracy was saying. When Tracy felt like she was on the outs with the sisters or whatever the case, she not as close, Tamar also felt that. Right? But I also think Tracy was just mad at everybody because she didn't get, I guess, the same advantage of, success, and maybe made to feel bad because she went on to have a child and get married and, start life completely different. But I'm sure there was a level of upsetness with Tamar, okay, and how she acts. But honestly, Tracy and Tamar could really relate to each other, for real, for real. So it ain't much different. But anywho, let's keep going. She says that she showed up to heal with her sisters this season. Right? That's what she said. She showed up to heal, but other people got to be ready to come to the table to heal too. But also, I think that, again, y'all don't know how to communicate. Y'all as sisters don't know how to communicate. I feel like sometimes when y'all have a certain thought in your head that you feel that you're accurate about, you don't want to change on that sometimes. I don't think you guys are always open-minded. And I feel like with this cease and desist situation with Tamar, I believe when she came into the room, she knows how her sisters are and how they operate, right? So she feels like this is right up y'all fucking alley. So she's judging the cease and desist situation, in my opinion, based on previous behavior and actions, right? Instead of considering the possibility that maybe it wasn't them. I'm not gonna even accuse anybody. I'm just gonna ask y'all. And if y'all say no, then I'm just gonna take your word for it. Like it's okay. I'll still get down to the bottom of it. Right. And if it was one of y'all, then I'll address y'all accordingly. Right. But she didn't really come in there like that. Right. They came in wanting to be all sisterly, and she like, listen, I want to get down to this right here. Who did it? I know one of you raggedy bitches in this room that did it. So I'm just gonna tell me which one did it. Okay, that's how Tamar came into the room, and Trina like, bitch, I ain't do it. Well, Trina wasn't really saying nothing until after a while. I think Trina said she didn't do it. Towanda said she didn't do it, and Tony said that she didn't do it. So then now Tamar's like, well, then somebody gave him my address. So it had to be one of y'all. So who the fuck could have gave him my address? And I specifically had a conversation with you, Tony. I talked to your ass. So it could have been you, but probably not you, considering the fact that you was the main one talking about getting her on the actual show and not on my podcast. So again, who gave this man my address? So now, right, I was wondering if it could have been the brother that did it because he sent one to the daughter, right? But then I also wondered, could it have been one of the damn sisters that also sent it, i.e. specifically Trina's ass, right? And I'll play a video. You guys probably have already seen it, but we'll get into it again. But yeah, so I'm wondering, like, I was like, could it have been the brother? Considering the fact that he did send that cease and desist to Ashley, even though Ashley continued to tell her story as she should, because maybe she could like not say his name, but how like it's really a tough situation when this is her damn story too. And you as a father, instead of protecting your child, you silence your child because you worried about your fucking image. That really pisses me off. And it just makes me think that you're so much of a whack ass nigga in my personal that you would even allow this white hoe to come into the picture and then disrespect your kids the way that her ass fucking did, even though to you, from your point of view, probably thought she was just the best and amazing mom ever. Cut it the fuck out. And then it makes me kind of question, what kind of nigga was you that the first mama was like, I'm finna get the fuck out of Dodge. I don't even want these girls. You can have their ass. I don't want them more shit to do with you. Like, what's going on? That's crazy as hell. But anyway, okay. Anyway, all in all, let me get back to the point of what I was saying. Um, and what was I saying? Yeah, just pretty much the daddy sending the cease and desist over to the daughter or whatever, and how I did not like that. But it very well could have been him, and it appears that it likely was him. And the attorney damn near spilled the beans on that. But Tamar's issue is, but who gave him my address, right? And the house ain't at Trina. Well, attorneys can get access to anything. That's what made Trina look guilty to me. The attorneys can get access to anything. She said, not this one if it ain't in my name. So it had to be somebody that's like within my circle that knows my address. Who's constantly visiting me, right? I don't think it's the brother visiting her too much. So it made me also think that Tamar wasn't just up with the, disappointed in the cease and desist because she believed y'all did it. But even if y'all didn't do it, y'all do something about it. And y'all all up here like, I don't know shit about it. When y'all got to know something because somebody gave my address. Now, granted, it could have been Mama Evelyn that gave the address. Possibly, she could have said, oh, yeah, baby, here's her address. Let me give it to you. Not thinking that he was going to go and do a cease and desist. Maybe he could have did that with any of them and they didn't think that he was going to send a cease and desist out. Right? But child, I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on that piece, okay? I know y'all gonna do that anyway, cause that's just how y'all is. All right. So there's that. What else did we talk about with Tamar? I think Tamar talked about her hitting Trina. She said she blacked out at that point or whatever. And I don't really think you blacked out, Tamar, because you remember what all the hell you did. So you couldn't have blacked out, love. I'm sorry. Tamar talks about how she can always be an opinionated person and also could be a person that may do too much sometimes. She says, but I'm not the worst person. She says, because no matter how successful she gets, she always comes back for them. And in that moment, that for me made me be like, yeah, I think that your sisters can't stand your ass for whatever reason. And, aside from just the success, they may not like that, but also how you show up, right? And I think that you do for them in the hopes that however they feel about you, this will compensate for that or something like that to where they would value you more or whatever. And you're seeing that that's not the case. They still don't like your ass. You can get them ladies $100,000 and they're gonna find something wrong with your ass in 2 months and act like you didn't get them shit. Yeah, no, ma'am. Okay. And honestly, can I say when she was crying and stuff, I really felt like she was crying about Towanda. In my personal, this is just my personal opinion. I feel like she was crying about Towanda because I really feel like it's more of a Towanda versus Tamar than it is a Trina versus Tamar. Because even with Trina being the one to get kicked, and I felt like Trina got most of it, right? Not so much as Tony, because Tony stood up on Tamar. Tamar had every right to stand back up on Tony's ass, right? Towanda did get the drink splashed in her direction. I don't know if it got on her or not, but Tamar still splashed that water at her sister. But for me, Trina got kicked and got her hair pulled. And even with that, when Trina was sitting with Tony, it seemed like she was open to even mending fences with her sister because she was like, well, what does that look like? Meanwhile, Towanda, who is being very clear, I don't have room for that in my life. I feel like Towanda was saying that in an effort to put an impression upon Trina, like, be with me. Be with me. Like, I'm not trying to deal with her. So, I mean, you shouldn't really try to do that either. Right. With forcing how she feels about that. But because at a point, Trina just got quiet as Towanda continued to talk. But Trina seems to be kind of open, like, well, what does that look like, Tony? Right? I think Trina and Tony are on the same wave of wanting to move forward. So if anything, I think in my personal opinion, Towanda may be the person Tamar has done more for than anybody in that family. I would believe that it would have been Towanda. That's my personal. And if there's an issue and her crying and being emotional in this moment, it's more so over Towanda. Like, no matter how much I try to show up for you or be there for you or whatever the case is, you still make me the damn problem. Like, what the hell? But yeah, so that's what all is going on with that particular episode. But the next thing I want us to get into real quick is going to be what this attorney had to say about this situation. So let me hop over here so that we can get into what this attorney said.
I got you.
And I'll say this. There has been no Braxton with a vagina that asked or
Sir, did you have to say with a vagina? What you could have said, because that was very ignorant as fuck in my personal, I feel like what you should have said was There has been no Braxton that identifies as a woman. Maybe you could have said that, and maybe that would have been problematic, but it would have sounded better than saying there's been no Braxton with a vagina. Like, is you cool?
Or requested this cease and desist.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. But that clears Tony, so that's all I worried about.
All right.
Well, that clears Tony, so that's all I'm worried about. Shut your dumb ass up. You sound dumb as fuck. Okay? Shut your dumb ass. Tony, the only one I care about. You don't care about the rest of the damn sisters? That's the only one I care about. Tony Braxton. And if Tony would have been the one to send it, then what you was gonna do? Come up with an excuse as to why it couldn't have been her? Shut your ass up.
So okay, before we get into take it to their apartment and to leave it with the concierge, and you tell your senior paralegal, because you, first of all, you don't hire a process server because you're respectful of the fact that she does have a son that lives there who's a minor, and that you don't want strangers going to her door, because contrary to popular belief, you care about her and you want to still protect her. So you get one of your senior paralegals to stay over beyond working hours and to take this cease and desist, and you tell your senior paralegal, do not go to her door. Leave it at the concierge, and don't even put on the concierge that it's from a law firm. Simply put her name on it and put personal and confidential. And that's what your senior paralegal does. Isn't that what your senior paralegal does, Fred?
All right, y'all. So that's pretty much all of the video there. And my other thing is, one, it appears the brother was the one that sent it. Just like he sent it to his daughter, it really should be no surprise that he sent it to Tamar, right? The other thing is, how did you get the address? Did one of the sisters give you the address if the name on the property is not her name? So did you get a special investigator? Like, who would do all of that just for a cease and desist when really, especially when you have access to the family, is what I'm saying. So just a question, because that's the same question Tamar asked. Well, who gave the man my damn address to give him that? All right. So leave your thoughts on that. I know y'all gonna do that anyway, like I said, because it's just how y'all is. Now I want to hop over here and I want us to check out this clip that Carlos King did with Claudia Jordan and Blue Centric. Shout out to Blue, because I really appreciated her commentary on this piece. So let us go ahead. And she was not finna talk about this. And I was like, girl, please go ahead and talk about this. But it seems like, Carlos was able to pull it out of her and she was able to touch on it. So we're just going to get into this quick snippet.
Have you noticed that in every single scene where Evelyn is talking to Towanda, the first thing she says is, hey, beautiful, hey, pretty girl, hey, gorgeous? Because she's trying to offset the obvious pain that Towanda has about how she's perceived in the hierarchy of her sisters.
Wow.
Damn. That's crazy, girl. Shit. That's terrible.
So there's a certain level of pandering the family does to Towanda. And there's a certain level of manipulation that Towanda does on behalf of the family that I'm ready to call BS on. Because Tamar is not perfect. And you can be imperfect and be an imperfect victim. Tamar is an unsympathetic, imperfect victim. And I think the family has a long documented history of being annoyed that she is the one who's always whistleblowing on things that they've agreed to toxically keep to themselves. And the reason that she's defending Ashley so much is because she's seeing it happen to Ashley. She's seeing it happen to Ashley, and I think that's why. And for those who are like, well, it's self-serving. First of all, nobody does anything that they don't get anything from. Being good at being strategic doesn't mean you're insincere. We're on a show right now. The show is being produced. It doesn't mean we're going to lie, right? So production being involved doesn't make it insincere. I think the reason why she was so passionate about Ashley is because she was Ashley. So when you see her talking about herself, you're actually seeing her motivation to have Ashley's back because she's watching it happen to the next generation. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people aren't clocking that she's being triggered. She's been triggered by a real offense that is being hidden behind a family dysfunction.
So frustrating because the more you fight it and say, no, but they're like, oh, you're being a hater. You're jealous. Oh, there you go again.
There she goes being Tamar again, whole time. Towanda, what happened to the 35K, babe? There was a scene where they're arguing where Towanda kind of stumbles through an admission that she took $35,000 from her sister that never got paid back.
She
And
alleged that it was a gift.
exactly, but what I'm saying is, think about that. That was a gift, even when the phone, right? When she said, hey, I didn't know me and Towanda were on the same phone plan and I was paying for her phone until I went to go switch providers and saw that it was a family plan and I had been paying for her. And Tawanda's reaction isn't to say it's untrue. It's to say, well, family takes care of family. You've been caught stealing, allegedly, twice in this one conversation, but we're all talking about Tamar getting deregulated. Because Tamar is emotionally deregulated, when you do dirt to her, you're expecting the spectacle of her to be a smokescreen for you to hide your dirty deeds.
The audience saw recently Claudia and Blue. K. Michelle is posting her music. Trina Braxton goes, you know I love country music. K. Michelle goes, come see me, Trina. DM me. I'll set it up. The album is great. Do you think Trina commenting on K. Michelle's post was a passive-aggressive diss to her sister Tamar?
I personally don't think that. I don't know. I don't think it was passive aggressive to Tamar, because keep in mind this show was filmed a few months ago, so maybe Trina and her made up. Maybe not so much as her and Towanda, but I don't know. I'm thinking about that. Because I feel like part of me is like, I'm kind of like this with friends, right? Like, if you beefing with a person, like, why I gotta beef with them because you beefing with them? That's your beef. We grown as fuck, right? And I'm feeling that way a little bit about these sisters because they don't rock with each other like that. So why should Tamar? So why should Tracy? Lord have mercy, may she rest in peace. Why should Trina have an issue with Kay because Kay and Tamar got an issue? If I take on all my sister's issues within the industry, bitch, I'm gonna be beefed out with everybody. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on that, just a little bit. But y'all let me know how y'all feel, okay? Because y'all may disagree with me, and that's fine. But I'm still processing that piece. Cause I'm like, is it really that bad that she just told her like, yo, I like this music. I like country music. Like, I like her music. I like what she does. Maybe Trina and Tamar were, not Tamar, but maybe Trina and K. Michelle were friends well before Tamar and K. Michelle got into it. Like, why I gotta end my friendship because y'all don't get along? Like, I don't know. Some part of like, if I do that with every person in the industry that you may have an issue with, bitch, I ain't got no friend. Why I gotta be the odds? I ain't even much had this shit. But anyway, leave your thoughts and comments down below, honey. That's all I got. I'm Jamie. That's me. Catch you in the next one. Bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM. And the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL. Got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I can face the